Big Dave can put this away. Ireland are through to the quarter-finals of the World Cup. He steps up into the back of the net. Oh, yeah! Rome, here we come.
And it's Ireland's day. Yeah! 61 years of waiting. How sweet this moment is.
Easy, onto it comes Hope. And Hope with a shot, and it's there.
This is 92.5 Phoenix FM. I'm Gary Stewart.
And I'm Chris Melia.
This is NSC Live, your weekly sports show from the National Sports Campus, Blanchardstown.
So, coming up today's show, we focus on swimming and the high performance programme.
We have a quick review of the Morton Games.
We have the Big Ten with US sprinter Philip Redrick.
And we have 2 places to give away on our summer camp programme.
First out, before that, we have some breaking news from the Sports Campus.
Yes, so exciting news this week. Work is to begin on a national high-performance training centre for Ireland's elite athletes. Chris, what do you think of that?
Yeah, brilliant. So this is the next project really in the Sports Campus.
Yeah, so our raving, as we coined him last week, reporter Connor caught up with Chief Executive Officer of the National Sports Campus Development Authority, Dave Conway, earlier on this morning.
Raven Reporter.
I'm here with Dave Conway, CEO of the National Sports Campus Development Authority. Dave, can you tell us about the latest developments on the campus and the new National Institute of Sport High Performance Centre?
Yes, Connor, it's great that we have received full planning and funding for the development of the Irish Institute of Sport High Performance Training Centre, and the Irish Institute of Sport now will continue to develop their plans with high performance athletes in Ireland.
That's great. And what can we expect in the High Performance Centre? What are the new facilities available?
Well, Connor, we hope to be on site on September without any procurement and technical issues, as you can always have when you come to projects of this nature. What we'll have in there, we'll have rehabilitation area, training space for boxing, strength and conditioning, mixed training zone, 120 metre sprint areas, lanes for athletes to train, changing rooms, facilities and so on, and of course medical facilities for athletes. And one kind of key important area that is an area for athletes to mix and discuss and see how they've performed in championships, how their training is going, and learning from each other.
When can you expect the work to be started and completed?
As I said, we hope to have it started on site in September, a 9-month construction, and then there's some fit out time. So we'll have it well in advance for our Rio athletes to at least get a year, if not a year and a half, training time in it.
That's great. And any upcoming projects, campus updates that we may look out for, maybe the indoor arena or anything?
Yes, we're still at tender stage in the National Indoor Arena. We hope to be on site by the end of the year. But in conjunction with the Institute of Sport High Performance Training Centre, we also have our campus pavilion building, and that's hopefully starting on site in September as well. It's in procurement at the moment. And that's a 9-month construction. And in that, we will have dressing rooms for the outdoor pitches and to help the FAI with their pitches and so on. We'll also have a major conference area in there. And this is coming on the back of the Irish Sport HQ, which we have 19 national governing bodies in there. So they needed more conference facilities, catering facilities as well. So we're actually able to deliver them as well. So it's very exciting times.
It seems to be full steam ahead down here. So thanks, Dave, for your time. And I'm sure we'll pop back up in the future for a further update on all the developments here on the campus.
Raven Reporter.
Okay, so Chris, that sounds pretty interesting. Another string to the National Sports Campus bow.
Yeah, definitely. And the difference with this one being, I suppose, where the other ones were sort of, whether it be GAA or athletics, where we're talking about an athletes mixing area as well.
Yeah.
So where a lot of these guys will probably, they see each other, they know each other from photo shoots and from touching base here and there, but generally to have a time to actually sit down, relax and work together is quite good. Just
to share experiences and share tips and advice on various things, and also as well, I suppose just to be almost not a shoulder to cry on, but to get a little bit of reinforcement, a little bit of support from fellow athletes that are going through similar things as well.
Exactly. It's nearly like a teammate, I suppose, who's if you can't bounce off whoever's on the team at that time, you have like an outer team in terms of the athletes. So that's
so it's almost like, I mean, a lot of these athletes will be individual, but it's almost like creating a team island kind of environment really for them to thrive in. Yeah, and then on travelling together for the likes of Europeans or Olympic Championships, it'd be a big plus. Yeah, that sounds fantastic. I mean, it almost seems like every week at the sports campus there's a different news story, whether it's a new facility popping up or it's an event.
Yeah, it really is endless, and not to overemphasize that, but generally the progression, it's just so continuous, and you're just going to see things just rolling on week and month on month.
So speaking of big events, Chris, what did you get up to last Saturday morning?
Last Saturday morning, I spent the morning running around like a headless chicken, trying to finish off the bits and bobs for our sports campus run. It went fantastic. It went really well. We had a great time. 18 minutes 53 was the winning time.
Oh wow, pretty sharp.
Yeah, sharp enough. Yeah, Keen May that was. And then we had Liam Quinn was the first member of the campus staff over the line to win the 8th Cronin Memorial Trophy. Some of Aid's family were there as well to present it, so it was really nice on the morning.
Fantastic. Yeah. So from one major campus event to another, and this is time for our Focus on Sport segment. And this week we're going to focus on the sport of swimming. Now we've got the National Age Group Championships and Summer Open at the National Aquatic Centre this weekend, so we thought it's only appropriate to take a look at swimming on this week's Focus on Sport.
Earlier on, we caught up with Swim Ireland High Performance Director Peter Banks and elite swimmer Brendan Gibbons over in the Swim Ireland HQ.
So this week's feature is Focus on Swimming. So we're here with Brendan Gibbons, who is an elite athlete in the 1500 metres and 800 metres freestyle. And Peter Banks, the Performance Director, is that the right phrase, Peter? Yep, for Swim Ireland. So how's it going, gents? You looking forward to this weekend?
Yeah, really looking forward to racing. Should be a good weekend.
And yourself, Peter, is it kind of a pinnacle in the calendar?
Yeah, I mean, guys? This is sort of the big meet for a lot of swimmers, club swimmers in Ireland, and it's 900 athletes going to be here this weekend, plus their parents. So it's a big week for Irish swimming. It's the end of the season for a lot of swimmers. We still have some swimmers that will swim this weekend that'll go on to the European Championships next month. Yeah. We have some swimmers that are swimming this weekend are going on to the Canadian age groups, leaving on Sunday, and then we have other swimmers going to Portugal, and then British age groups and youth. So there are other swimmers at the top end of the sport that will go on to other major competitions, but for the majority of the swimmers this weekend, this will be the end of the training for the whole year, and trying to achieve what they're going to try to achieve, and so a lot of excitement. 4.5 days, busy, long sessions, but I mean, I think everybody's getting ready to gear up for it,
So how big of an event is it, kind of operationally wise, for Swim Ireland?
It's a very big event. We have a lot of volunteers that obviously give their time. We can't do it without volunteers, and then the Swim Ireland staff are on hand, plus officials to run the meet. So it takes a lot of organisation and time to do that. So, and then obviously the staff at the NSC help us out and make sure that everything runs to schedule and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, walking kind of past the pool this morning, it's a hive of activity. Seems like there's plenty of people there working away, getting everything ready for this afternoon.
Yeah, it starts about, I think the warm-up is about 2 o'clock, and then I think it kicks off about 3:30, 4 o'clock. So.
Okay, super. And the swimming and the races run right through the weekend?
Well, right through the weekend. The prelims start in the morning, so they have a prelim session from about 9:15 in the morning, and that runs to about 2 o'clock, and then they take a break, and then they come back at 4:30, 5 o'clock for the finals in the evening time, so that runs till about 7:30 at night. So anybody wants to come along, I know there's actually no charge to come in to spectate, so it's an opportunity for people who maybe don't know swimming or would like to see swimming or are barely involved in swimming. Maybe the recreational swimmer would like to come and see some of the best swimmers in Ireland swim.
Yeah, super. Well, I was at the Morton Games on Friday night, the athletics event, and that was a fantastic event, just seeing kind of Ireland's best athletes and some best athletes from across the world kind of performing. Yeah. And we kind of said on last week's show, it's great watching sports on TV and these elite athletes, but you don't really appreciate kind of how good they are until you actually see them in the flesh.
Yeah, and that's the same. I mean, you'll see like the likes of Brendan here competing, and then you'll see people like Barry Murphy and those people that'll be around, Olympians and so on that'll be around. So it's good to see the range from the people who are just starting in the sport at the national level, who is their first national meet, to the people who are well experienced. So they all show up this weekend to have a go.
Yeah, fantastic. Peter, you mentioned there the times of swimming in the morning and swimming in the evening. Brendan, if I can ask you, what would you do to fill that gap between the heats in the morning and swimming later on?
After a heat session, I'd probably go back and get something to eat, then take a little bit of a nap, rest up kind of, and then wouldn't want to sleep too long because I want to be able to sleep again that night, because I'll be racing again the next day, so just keep my feet up really.
Yeah, and the rest of the lads, they be similar as well, would they, or do they have their own little little ways of approaching the evening heats or finals?
A lot of people would be doing the same, kind of just resting up in between.
Yeah.
Not getting up to too much, so you're ready to go again for the finals.
Right, great stuff.
So Brendan, you actually live at the National Sports Campus now. Some of our listeners may be not aware of this, but Swim Ireland, in partnership with the National Sports Campus Development Authority, built some housing for our elite swimmers. So what's it like to live at the sports campus?
Well, the house is really, really nice. It's great for training and everything. It's about like a mile from the doors of the pool, so it's really easy when I'm training in the morning. Just makes it a lot easier. I roll out of bed and I'm at the pool already, so that's really great. It's a really nice setup and we're well looked after there, and it's really great.
Fantastic. So you train in the morning. What kind of time are you up in the pool?
Well, I get up at about, the alarm will go at 4:30, and I'll be in the pool then for 5. So
in the pool for 5.
Yeah.
Wow. I was a postman for about 3 months one summer, and I thought that was early, but yeah, absolutely. So credit to you. So you're in the pool from 5. What's the rest of your day look like as an elite swimmer?
It varies a bit from day to day, but some of the busier days I'd have 2 hours in the morning from 5 to 7 training, an hour gym. After that, go back, get some sleep, get some food, and I'll be training again in the evening at 5 again, 5 till 7 again in the evening.
So you're back in the pool for another couple of hours?
Yeah.
Wow. So it's you've got to be committed then to kind of make it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work involved, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Peter, you'd have a good frame of reference to this. Where would we be in relation to swimmers across Europe or even worldwide?
At the moment, internationally, we do well at the European. We just came back from the European Juniors this week, and we had a number of finalists and semi-finalists, and we brought 8 swimmers to the European Junior level. And that typically is where we either achieve at the finals or get on the podium. At the European senior level, we've done the same. We've got to the finals and we've podiumed, so we've got on the medal stand and stuff. And our next breakthrough is really to get on the world stage and world international finals, and then obviously Olympic finals and so on. So that's over the next 2 years. That's our goal from Swim Ireland. We've achieved that at the European level. Last year we had Fiona Doyle, who achieved at the World University Games. She's got a silver medal at the World University Games. So we want to sort of build on that, and it takes a period of time, and you're just developing the athletes and developing the swimmers to try and make sure that they progress towards that and get the right training. And the things like the Performance Centre at the National Aquatic Centre is vital for those things to happen, because it gives a solid base of training, professional coaching, professional facilities, the support staff with the Institute of Sport just down the road is part of the campus as well. We get the the support for the athletes. So if we want to make it on the world stage, so that's our goal for the next 2 years. So World Championships are next year, 2015. Olympic Games are 2016. So that we're really working towards that with the athletes that we have at present in the squad. So it's a big step for us,
Yeah, I see the lads up there now. I don't have a U-Train reference this with myself. I see how hard they work. Would we be on a level par? Not in terms of where we're achieving, but in terms of the approach and the preparation and the best practice.
Yeah.
We seem to be there. Would that be fair to say?
That's where, we've tried to institute best practices of what we've seen around the world. Myself, I've been involved in swimming for over 30 odd years, and I've coached in the United States for over 20 years of those. And having been involved in USA swimming and world swimming events and world class athletes, these are the things that we've tried to institute within Swim Ireland and the national programme. So not just here at this facility, but at facilities around the country or clubs around the country, we've tried to put a professional, stamp on it. So Swim Ireland employs 3 full-time coaches and a part-time coach as part of performance centres around the country, so that we institute sort of a professional attitude towards what we do and how we move forward with those athletes and give them the best opportunity. If they're going to compete against the best in the world, they've got to give them the best chance on stage, it just takes time, and it doesn't happen overnight. We're about 5 years into a plan, and there'll be another 4 or 5 years of it to try and make sure we get there. So people can't grow up any faster. If they're a 16-year-old, they're still a 16-year-old. And eventually, so it's a number of years of training. Somebody like Brendan has only been you've been in the performance centre now about 2.5 years, 3 years. He's full time in it now, but so it takes a number of years of working with it. And in swimming terms, he's still young. As a male athlete, he's still young. So he's got a number of years before he physically fully matures, and then keeps working to that next level.
So the future's bright for Irish women.
Well, I'd like to think so. Yeah, I think we're on the right place and trying to do the right things. And yes, we hope to get more talent through and take a few swimmers into our sport that maybe might have gone to GAA or rugby and some of those big tall boys that you see out in the pitches. Instead of going to play rugby or GAA, they might be going into a pool, and we might get those talented people in our sport. So you need some of those opportunities happen for the sport to progress as well.
So you kind of touched on there about the Olympics and World Championships. Do you have kind of like strict medal targets kind of set from Swim Ireland or from the Irish Sports Council?
Our target is to final at the 2016, so have somebody in a final at the 2016.
All right, okay.
I mean that's what we've made ourselves a goal of doing, and that we haven't done that ever. I mean, we want to make sure we achieve that, and I think we have the athletes that are part of our program, nationally to do that. So it's just supporting them, whether it's here or wherever they are. It's supporting them.
It's a great show of intent. That goal,
Well, it is. I mean, you have to sort of set the standard, and you have to believe in it, and we believe in these athletes, and you have to show that these athletes can do that, and that's what they want to do. I mean, they wake up every morning at 4:30 thinking that that's what they want to do. So we have to be seen to be supporting that dream or that hope or whatever you want to call it, aspiration.
The belief is there. It's fundamental. Yeah, fantastic.
No, that's great. So it's a real interesting insight into yourself, Brendan, kind of like the life of an athlete as well, and the insight from Swim Ireland's perspective of kind of how much investment, not necessarily financially, but just in time, of putting this kind of effort into these athletes.
Yeah, I think Brendan can even tell you. I mean, I know he's touched on what he does during the day. I mean, during the year when he goes to school, I mean, he's a full-time student as well. So, I mean, he's going to DCU, is it?
DCU, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's going to DCU, which is great because it's close to the campus.
Yeah.
Again, it's a tie into what he's trying to do. So, it's very important that you get the full athlete. So you round the athlete. It's not just about swimming. It's about him getting an education as well. And so when swimming finishes, there's a future for this athlete, and it's not just about what do I do now? I mean, I'm finished swimming, so what do I do? So he's very busy getting his full-time education as well in DCU. Yeah.
So where are you from originally?
Athlone.
Athlone. Okay. So what was it kind of like moving over to Dublin?
Well, I was kind of moving. It was like a slow move, kind of. Like 2 or 3 years ago, I started just doing Saturday mornings up here in Dublin, and it was good just to get a taste. And I got to know the team and the coach and everything. And then this year in September, when I moved up to college full time, I started training full time, but I was already kind of felt part of the team and everything. So it was an easy move because I had already started coming up.
So that gradual transition kind of helped. Yeah.
I was training short course in Athlone, 25-metre pool, 50-metre pool here. It's better for training. There's still good facilities in Athlone and that, though. It's very good.
Yeah.
And I enjoy training there. But just moving on, it's good to get training in the 50-metre pool.
So what are you studying at DCU?
Athletic therapy and training.
Okay. So you going into your first year now? Is it?
No, I just finished my first year.
You just finished, so you're going into your second year?
Yeah, starting second year then September, October.
So obviously your kind of ambition in the sport is to achieve as an elite swimmer. If that doesn't happen, or once you kind of retire later on in life, what's kind of your ambitions and what do you want to be?
I'd like to kind of still work in sport. Whether it's swimming or another sport, I don't really mind, but as maybe a physio or an athletic therapist and trainer, it'll be good to just keep working with sport because I really, really love the sport. So.
Super.
Brendan, I'm looking at you here, and I'm looking at the shape of the body, and you seem to be a clone of a lot of your fellow swimmers up there. So usually the only way we can distinguish you is through the accent or the hairstyles, to be honest. So, Peter, just in terms of athlete transfer out there, or scouting swimmers, or I'm not exactly sure what way you do it, is there any particular areas you look at, or do you just find that when the best swimmers come through, they all tend to be tall and broad shoulder and...
No, I mean, I think one of the things is that when you look at swimmers, I mean, you look, even if you went down to your Learn to Swim program at the NAC and you look at little kids going up and down the pool, there's certain things that you look at as how do they float in the water, you know, how do they naturally do those particular things. So, you know, a kid gets in the water, they learn to swim, do they naturally float? Is their body position pretty good? Is it an easy thing for them to do? So do they take to it like the old saying, duck to water? Is it like that kind of, you know, easy transition for them? A very good thing to see is if you have a child and he's very, very good at kicking in the water, so they put him on a kickboarder and they kick and they really, you know, you have 10 swimmers in the water and one of them is really good at kicking. That usually is a good sign of very good flexion in their ankles, which is usually a good sign that they actually might be a good swimmer. So little things like that, and you try and develop those as you go through the program, and you look at, you know, and that's what's really good about the program at the NAC with what we've sort of tied into is the fact that there is a long-term athlete development plan within the program there, that you see kids going in at 3 or 4 years of age learning to swim, and there is actually a pathway. So you could actually walk in the door of the NAC and never have to move from that one facility. You could become an Olympian by actually swimming in that facility, because you could start at the Learn to Swim program and you could come out at 10, 15, 20 years later as an Olympian. That's really important for us as an organisation, that we are able to see that, and that is able to develop. Now, not saying every kid that comes in the door is going to happen. That's going to happen. We wish, but that's important that kind of pathway is there, that kids can come in and they can be part and learn to swim, and you know, they can see the better kid across the pool, somebody like Brendan's training and swimming, and parents say, do you know, I'd like my kid to be part of a program like that. That's really important. It shows discipline. These guys are dedicated, you know, so parents look for those sort of things, and you know, you have your own kids and you want those to be in a good environment, and that's certainly a good environment to be part of.
Well, that was actually my next question. I did note it down there, I'm not lying to you, the kind of the influence and the importance of the swim academies, and it must be great for, like, say, those parents and those children to see the elite swimmers coming in at 5 p.m. and training alongside children at level 3, level 4. You know?
And that's really, really important, because in that sense, it's you know, it makes it easy to see. You put all these things down on a piece of paper and you can say, oh, this is our pathway and this is but actually until you physically see somebody in the pool going up and down and asking, well, why are they training like that, or what, you know, and see, you know, my kid could be there, and you don't know whether they want it or not, but it's there, it's in front of them, and it's easy to sell, you know.
Peter, Brendan, that's been great. Really kind of the insight into the performance angle of swimming and being an athlete's kind of been really interesting to me. So yeah, guys, thanks for your time, and best of luck for the weekend. Hope it goes well.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, so Chris, really insightful hearing about the high performance end of swimming.
Yeah, you can really see the progression of swimming and the approach to it as well. You know, certainly from my understanding of it, it's definitely come on leaps and bounds. Yeah, and it's so refreshing. I know I mentioned it in the interview this morning, but so refreshing to hear about developing the person as well. You know, and from a parent's point of view, looking after the educational side of things. Right, it's great to hear that our national governing bodies are thinking of the big picture, not just medals and performances. Yeah, that's definitely key. Like, we often seen that was usually the missing part of the jigsaw, and now they've really zoned in to the extent that we can see that the athletes are actually staying on site. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, I mean, ultimately they're only going to be an athlete for, I don't know, it could be 5, could be 10 years. You know, they've got the rest of their lives as well to prepare them for, which is fantastic. As well, Peter touched on there about giving athletes the best possible chance. I mean, these programs, these great facilities aren't going to guarantee medals, but what they'll do is they'll put Ireland in a position where they can compete. Exactly. And anyone who's ever been involved in sport knows that there's no guaranteed return. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But we can put everything in place to make something best possible chance. Yeah. So it was great hearing about that. I mean, if anyone wants to get down to the Open Age Championships at the National Aquatic Centre this weekend, as Peter mentioned, it's free to get into. So that kind of reminds me. This event reminds me a little bit of the Morton Games that I was at last Friday night, and we were delighted to catch up with Morton Mile record breaker and 3-time champion Will Lear.
So first of all, congratulations, fantastic performance. You must be delighted.
Over the moon. Came here with an intent on running fast.
Yep.
Didn't think I'd run this quick, but definitely excited to come out and have my name stamped on the stadium record and the Morton record.
Well, exactly 2 seconds almost off the record.
Yeah, just about. I think it was 3:53.8 and 3:51.8, about 2 seconds.
Superb. So your third time as champion here.
Yes. Second, the first time I came over, and then I didn't like losing. So it feels great to come out with a victory. And the folks here are so good to us. They're so nice. They treat us like royalty.
Well, exactly.
And so we love to come back and give them as great of a performance as we can.
And what do you think of this stadium, Morton Stadium?
It's fantastic. It's beautiful. Every year that we've been here, the weather's been perfect. We a couple of us got a little scared this morning on our on the weather app on the iPhone and said we would have 63 mile an hour winds. I was like, oh. That's probably not appropriate to say on the radio.
Right,
we can edit that out. But so that was a little scary. But we looked outside and the leaves are hanging still. So it was perfect conditions. It was nice. It was warm, but a little bit cool. It wasn't too hot. The humidity was good, so we could get a good sweat and perfect conditions for running fast.
Fantastic. Obviously, you're third-time champion, but what does it mean to you to be up on the board with the likes of Steve over Eamon Coughlin, Steve Scott breaking his 37-year-old record?
I mean, those are some of the best milers of all time.
Exactly.
And so to have my name on the cup as many times as some of those guys, it's a real honor.
Yep.
And it's the reason we keep coming back and racing here. The mile has a ton of history.
Yep.
And Santry and Morton, they help keep that going on.
Fantastic. Will, cheers for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. Okay, so yeah, we caught up with Will. To be honest with you, the rest of the athletes we spoke to on Friday night, they spoke very, very highly of Morton Stadium and the event as a whole. Yeah, it's quite fast track. Yeah, that was a lot of the feedback from the athletes was that it was a fast track. So you can only kind of make athletes want to come in. They've got qualifying times that they need to get to the Commonwealth Games, to get to a European Championships, get to World Championships. So performing in a stadium like that in the conditions will only suit them. What about that time that Will done? 3:51.9, I think it was off the top of my head. Unbelievable. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I was there, and the support that he had coming around the final bend on the home street, when people could see that he had a chance of breaking a 37-year-old record, the crowd went crazy. They were roaring him on. It was 37-year-old record. 37 years old, yeah. It's amazing. I remember reading in a sports psychology book once, back in the early Roman Spartan times, they were trying to break the 4 minute mile, and they used animals to chase athletes and all sorts. And the year it was broken by Roger Bannister, that very same year, 4 more people broke the 4 minute mile. So it just shows. It shows you how the running can evolve and sports can change. Sports psychology. Yeah, and how competing against your peers that are at the top end can kind of push you on as well, which again Peter kind of mentioned earlier in the interview, doesn't he? Competing alongside. And also to be fair, Roger Bannister wasn't only the Roman athletes weren't running on a top class Morton Stadium track. There's that as well. I mean, there were 7 stadium records broken that evening. One of the girls from the States that I caught up with, she actually knocked 4 seconds off her personal best. 4 seconds. I mean, I think she did 3,000 metres, so it wasn't just like she was doing a sprint, but even still, it's phenomenal, isn't it? Pretty impressive. Yeah, it's great. So also as well, it's time for our weekly Big Ten segment. We caught up with Will Lear, and also as well, a great opportunity to speak to Philip Redrick, who is a United States elite athlete. He's a sprinter from Texas, and he specialises in the 100 and 200 metres. Okay, so what's your name?
Philip Redrick.
And where are you from?
I'm United States of America, Texas.
Superb. And what's your event?
The 100 and 200, mainly 200.
Superb. And what's your greatest sporting achievement?
3-time All-American. Broke the SWAC record in 2030.
Superb.
Being number 6 in the world in 200 meters.
Wow. Who's been the greatest influence on your career so far?
Michael Johnson.
Michael Johnson, fantastic.
Yeah, great.
What's been your biggest sporting embarrassment?
I was celebrating the win, and then the next heat came by and beat my time, so I lost.
Right, okay. Away from athletics, who's your favourite sports team? Who do you support?
My favourite sports team?
Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys.
All right, excellent. And what's your pre-race meal?
Oatmeal. My coach hates it.
And what's your post-race drink?
Gatorade.
And what's your next ambition in the sport? What do you want to achieve next?
Beat Usain Bolt.
Okay, superb. Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So great to hear from athletes of Philip Redrick's calibre in the Big Ten.
Yeah, it's great that, as we said last week, it's great to have such athletes over, world-class athletes, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's pretty much all the time we've got for in today's show. It's been jam-packed, a bit of a roller coaster. But before we leave, we're going to finish with a little competition. And basically, we're going to give you away 2 places on our upcoming Multisport Summer Camp Academy. Okay, now the summer camps have been fantastic this year so far. Kids are having a great time. The feedback's been brilliant. So we're going to give away 2 places on those. Now, to win those places, all you have to do, same as last week, get onto our Facebook page, National Sports Campus, and we want you to comment, in the picture of Will Lee, I want you to comment which event he won last Friday night at the Morton Games.
Oh, I know that one.
You know that one, you're going to end it, Chris, yeah? So you're a little bit too old for the multi-sport camp. So the multi-sport camp is aimed at children aged 5 to 13, just to quash Chris's dreams there. So yeah, if you've got any children or nephews or nieces or grandchildren and you think this will be great for them, yeah, get on the National Sports Campus Facebook page.
So that's it from another NSC Live. Next week we'll have more top sport and interviews and news from the campus. So until next week, goodbye.
See you later.
Big Dave can put this away. Ireland are through to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. He steps up and it's in the back of the net. Oh yeah! Rome, here we come.
And it's Ireland's day. Yeah! 61 years of waiting. How sweet this moment is.
Easy, onto it comes Hope. And Hope with a shot, and it's there!